Welcome to Tony's Bonsai. Today it's my cascading hawthorn. Need to do a bit of work to it up top, not a lot, but let's jump straight in. This tree's in its second year of training, so I've managed to get the trunk coming down. I've got a nice pad at the base and some decent branching, I think, but these up at the top, I think they need some wire applying. Around the top of the tree we've got shoots like this, and they've grown this year. They're quite straight and I want to add a bit of movement to them. From this angle you can see that front pad, which is looking quite good. But my job, first of all, before I apply any wire, is to go around these branches, just removing the thorns. There's tons of thorns on this hawthorn. I know some hawthorns hardly have any, but I've not been so lucky with this tree. It's absolutely lethal. And these new shoots just have a thorn below. Basically every leaf has got a sharp thorn emanating from it. Now when they first come out, they're actually not too bad, they're fairly soft. But because these have had a good few months of growth, they're fairly nasty at this stage. So I don't always remove thorns when I'm working on hawthorn, but when I'm applying wire, as I'm going to today, I think it's kind of essential. I've zoomed in here on this branch so you can see these thorns, and all I do is I just nip them off like that, being careful not to damage the bud that's below the thorn. So each of the base of these thorns there's a new bud that potentially can turn into a branch, which I've got to be careful not to damage. So it's relatively laborious work, but I actually quite like this job. I've just spent 5 minutes and I've taken all the thorns off, all of these new shoots. It's time now to apply some wire. So I've got a piece of, I think this is 1.5mm wire, and I'm going to wire together these. I just said wire a lot of times, didn't I? You know, sometimes I find myself doing that. I said it about 6 times in 30 seconds. But all I'm doing is wrapping the wire around the branch. I'm not too bothered about what happens at the end of the branch up here. Doesn't really matter that, because the movement that I'm trying to add is lower down, because this branch will eventually be cut off higher up. I won't cut it now because I want these leaves to grow and help this branch to set. I'm not going to do any styling on it first of all. I'm just going to apply that wire in that manner to, there's about 4 or 5 branches that I want to manoeuvre. You can see in this shot that obviously the main flow of the tree is in this direction, but that doesn't mean all of the branches at the apex have to all flow in the same direction. We can keep some as like a bit of a crown up the top. So I've applied wire to all the branches that I want to manipulate. So time to make some decisions. I'm happy with the movement of this one, but I think I'll take this down. That'll do for the time being. This branch here, I do want to go with the flow of the tree. So I'm going to take it away and then quite drastically round like that. And this back one I'm going to take up to add some height. So I'll take this all the way up, but I want to add some interest as well, so I'm going to take it towards the camera and then away from the camera and up. So looking from sort of any angle, it's got something interesting going on. I've rotated the tree round through 180 degrees, so this is now the flow of the tree. And these are the branches that I just moved. And from here we can see this kind of awkward branch in some respects because it's coming down and under this. So to put this more in line with the design of the rest of the tree, I'm going to bring it across to the camera, vertically up, and then down with the flow of the rest of the tree. The one next to it is kind of in the right position already, so all I'm going to do to that is just add some S movement to it. Now this branch was the first one that I just bent downwards to get out of the way, and I can now kind of see what I want to do with this by turning it round from the back. You can see how far it comes out, which I don't really like, so I've decided to bring this up and across, again with the flow of the tree, because it is a kind of windswept style, and I think that works quite nicely. That I have hit a problem there though. This is interesting. What's interesting now is I've bent these two branches and they're almost the same, they're identical, they're both coming out and then going that way, and I don't really want them to be perfectly similar in that way, so I'll take this one more down, and this one can come more up, just so that they're not, you know, as similar. Yeah, I think that works well actually, that. The trees again pointing to the right, so I've got this branch here and this one here, they're both straight, they're pointing up, they're in quite nice positions, but I just want to add a bit of movement and something interesting to them. Just like that. And this one nicely could fill this space, but I don't necessarily want this to be just pointing in the same direction as everything else. So I'll bring that towards the camera before it then goes round. So that works quite nicely, that. There's no doubt this is one of my favourite bonsai trees. I've only been styling it not even 2 years, but it's taking shape. I just really enjoy working on this, probably more than any other tree. So if I had a recommendation to somebody, it'd be get yourself some young hawthorns and sort of learn bonsai. So that's me done for today. As always, thanks for joining me. If you'd like to see the progress of this tree, you know what to do. Have a great day.